2023 was the best year yet for Pax Day, which is technically correct because, well, Pax Day has only been announced since this year, but that is a very small detail in a very large picture. Hello everyone, and welcome back. I am Eltari, the professional gamer, and this is the PAX Friday Review, the show where we talk about all of the fun, interesting, new, and exciting information that has dropped for PAX Day over the last week. In this week's episode, we are going to be doing the PAX Yearly Review. We're going to talk about everything that has happened in the last 10 months that PAX Day has been announced. Also, we do have a couple of predictions for what is to come in 2024, so be sure to stay till the end of the video to hear all of our predictions for next year. So starting with the most recent month, December was quite an eventful one. The winners of the alpha screenshot competition were announced. Congrats to all of the winners listed here. There was also an update on how to be signed up for the alpha, and there was a discussion on the fairness of friends tokens, and Mainframe reassured us how they're trying to keep it as fair as they possibly can. There was also an interview with Narc and one of the lead game designers for PAX Day, Pater, and they revealed a lot of new information. We got an update on the results of the first alpha, as well as a teaser for the next alpha date coming in the first quarter of 2024. Lastly, but certainly not least, we got a huge high-level information dump on Mainframe's initial thoughts on how they are going to monetize the game. A lot of people read pay to win, but the devs are continuing the conversation on the official Discord, so you should check it out and share your feedback on it too. At the start of November, the first PAX Day livestream was held in the official Discord. We got our first glimpse of live gameplay, and it was also announced that the alpha was coming out in 3 days. So, hey, the first ever PAX Day alpha also occurred in November. This test was limited to building, crafting, and exploration, with the most complete system being building, though none of the systems were near release quality as noted by Mainframe. Over 12,000 players got invited to join. We saw some big names like Asmongold and Narc and others get access, and with them, they brought a lot of new, interested players. PAX Day accumulated over 1 million hours viewed on Twitch, a huge achievement for an early alpha, especially an early alpha that only had 2 weeks of playable game. The NDA was also lifted, and we here at the Professional Gamer got to share our alpha experiences with all of you, and we're sponsored by Mainframe to produce some alpha tutorial content so that when you got into the game, you would know how to play already. The month of October, the developers spoke in detail about the high-level view on RPG systems and combat. The FAQ did not talk a lot towards PvP, but gave plenty of good insight into the eventual plan for combat in PAX Day. It is again important to note the combat gameplay in the first alpha was not representative of the combat in the final version of PAX Day. We learned a lot about the magic system and its ties to equipment, as well as how skills will work in relation to combat. We got a glimpse of the character creator and some information about the initial friends and family alpha testing statistics. Lastly, the first in-game holiday was announced called Samhain, which occurs on All Hallows Tide, also known as around Halloween. In the month of September, the whole team was back in full force from the summer holidays and hit the ground running. They revealed some of the friends and family alpha build screenshots to tease the community at what was to come. The tech FAQ landed and revealed how servers will be organized and sharded. We got the initial population limits for a single shard of 150 and an initial population projected at around 7,000. Fair to note, the actual alpha exceeded these projections with 12,000 invites going out, as well as around 220 people in one location. potentially in instance zones. In August, we ended our approximate 2-month hiatus of developers out on summer holidays. We got some pretty important information in August as we saw our first glimpse of a tome for the book/knowledge system. Additionally, we also voted on our name as a community. While my favorite Pax Denizens did not win, we are all now called Paxians. In July, a majority of the studio was out on summer vacation, but we still got some cool updates. We were shown the first ever large enemy, potentially world boss. It was a demon, and it was terrifying. The developers also mentioned future FAQs to come were on crafting, PvE, PvP, the gear system, user experience, and technology, as well as many more features. Of those mentioned, as of the end of 2023, we can confidently say we have discussed combat and a little bit of the gear system and some server technology. There is still a lot more FAQs to come in the following months of 2024, it seems. The month of June was a very exciting month as we were treated to a 16+ minute pre-recorded developer interview for the PC gaming show. We got a lot of new glimpses of the game and what to expect. The devs mentioned things like kingdoms, churches, guilds, and more, all in passing. It's important to note that all of those, except guilds, at least for now, have been confirmed to be gameplay features in later interviews or FAQs, so it goes to show that the developers are always letting on more than it appears. We also got a glimpse at how the developers were approaching developing the world and some of the generative and procedural tech being used to make the world feel alive. The month of May was light on new gameplay information, but we got a lore snippet that heavily teased how magic was going to be connected to gear in the game. It goes to show how in Pax Dei, the lore and gameplay are so heavily connected with each other. After reading Armazel's Folly, we also got some screenshots of ghosts and or wisps for the first time. The month of April saw the posting of a building FAQ, also with a video of the building system for the first time. The developers spoke about how there are several more tile sets planned in the future as well. We got 2 additional lore posts detailing one of the enemy NPC factions we fought in the first alpha, the Sethians. In addition, we learned a lot about the church history in Pax Dei, with a system of redeemers coming and teaching humanity new things, as well as the Pope existing. March was the first full month since Pax Dei had been publicly announced. We got a lot of information about lore with a lore AMA. We learned how the world of Pax Dei is comprised of previous iterations of the creation being stacked on one another, and how evil seeps through the cracks to corrupt the current world coming from below. We also got a lot of new information on the origins of magic. On February 28th, the world was changed for the better when Mainframe formally announced Pax Dei, a social sandbox player-driven MMO inspired by the dark Middle Ages where fables and myths were real. We also officially launched this YouTube channel to cover Pax Dei content as well. What an exciting year. In fact, like I said at the start of this video, it's the best year in Pax Dei yet. Before I get to my predictions for 2024, let's look at some of the stats. Mainframe has done so much in the 10 months since they announced this game. The official Discord went from 0 users to 51,000 plus users and growing. Millions of building pieces have been placed. Over 1 million hours of Pax Dei content have been viewed on Twitch alone in the 2-week time frame that the alpha was live for. There were 3 full FAQs, 1 developer live stream on the official Pax Dei Discord, 1 live community-led interview done by Narc, a PC gaming show interview, a 2-week alpha, and they announced the game all in the last 10 months of 2023. This is in addition to the countless hundreds, if not thousands of hours the developers have spent talking to us on the official Pax Dei Discord. It excites me to think what is to come in 2024. So now for my predictions. We know the first quarter of 2024, we will see another alpha testing round. Though the focus of this testing alpha has not been announced yet, could it be focus on deep crafting, combat, feudal gameplay, and kingdom mechanics? Will books finally be a system that we can play around with in game? We don't know yet. My very professional opinion is that we will see a focus on deep crafting with more stations, more recipes, more materials to gather, as well as more tiers that we can craft. I think we will also see at least 2 new maps in the Gallia region. We also know that there are more FAQs to come down the road. Some that we know are coming but haven't seen yet are the crafting, books, PvE experience, PvP, and user experience. And this is based solely on what the developers have previously stated. Which, if the next alpha is going to be focused on crafting, I would expect one of the first FAQs that we see at the very start of the year is going to be about crafting. That is also just in the first quarter. If I had to pinpoint a date for Pax Dei's second alpha to drop, I would think that it would probably land somewhere around the 1-year anniversary of Pax Dei's announcement, which would make it sometime in the month of February. It might end around the 1-year anniversary, it might start around the 1-year anniversary, but I think the entire month of February is definitely a good milestone month for mainframe, and that's probably where we would expect to see the next alpha timeline at least drop, if not the entire alpha drop for us to play. Now, for my final prediction, and as always, if you want to join us along for this journey in 2024, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the video, and share with any of your friends who might be interested in Pax Dei and Pax Dei related content. But my biggest prediction for 2024 is that we will have the official Pax Dei early access drop for all of us to play by the end of 2024. That is a prediction. You can postmark it, screenshot it, capture it, do whatever you want to do. Send it back to me at the end of 2024. I am pretty sure we're going to see the game in a more stable state with a lot more of the completed, at least version 0.1 of every intended system, and they're going to open the game up to be tested on a more regular basis with content updates. Whether or not you're going to have to purchase this to get access or not, I am not going to touch that subject, but that is my prediction. I think we will be able to get an early access version of Pax Dei by the end of 2024, or at least that is what I hope. I'm just going to continue to will that into existence. But that is it for today. Before you go, please let me know what your predictions are for 2024 for Pax Dei. I'm really excited to see what new things are to come for such an amazing game in 2024. But until next year, I'm Altari, the Professional Gamer. See you in the next video.